got me out of bed.
Listen to me. Help him out. Get him his headphones and all that stuff. The great Phil Esposito is in the studio with us. No, you're good. You're good. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Listen to me. If ever in a million years growing up in New York, if I thought Phil Esposito would be sitting in my garage, and I would never have thought that in my life. How are you, sir? Hold on. Jesus, Gio, help him out. The guy's over there frantically trying to put on his headphones. There you go. All right.
These are a lot better than the ones I use over there.
I understand. I understand. They keep all the budget money on the ice over there.
A little bit for me.
Hold on. Here we go. Phil Esposito of your Tampa Bay Lightning in the studio. How are you, sir?
I'm well, thank you. Hanging in there anyway.
Yeah, you look great.
Well, let's not get carried away.
I never in a million years thought that you'd be sitting in my garage inside my house when I was a kid. This is amazing. And we got gifts and everything.
This is something.
This is the way to do it, right?
I lived here in Cheval when I first moved here.
Right.
When I came here 30-some years ago, I met a guy named Jim Stackpool, and I was the first street in as you come in the Cheval entrance.
Okay.
To the left. In fact, Schwarzkopf had the house next to me.
Yeah.
The security was fantastic.
I bet.
I think the Iraqi war.
Yep. Yeah, this has been great for me. It's centrally located, kind of for everybody. It's 10 minutes from the airport, so we're good there. But then the best part about it is this happened when COVID hit. When COVID hit, we started doing the show from home, and then I got used to it. And I said, well, I'm not going, but I'm staying here. And now we do everything from here. It's weird when I have to ask a hockey legend to come in my garage to come into the show. But once you get in here, you kind of forget where you are.
Oh, I could tell you, folks, this does not look like a garage.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've done a little bit of an upgrade to it.
Yeah, sure have.
And this is great. You know, it's so funny. I was just this morning, not knowing that you were coming today, I was brushing my teeth for some reason. I was thinking about Nick Fotiu. Did you play with Nick?
Absolutely. I love Nicky Fotiu.
Yeah.
And my last year playing the first half of the season, I was playing on a line with him. And I used to say, Nicky, you just shoot and fight.
Yeah.
Don't stick handled, you make the puck square.
Right.
He was a clopper.
Yeah.
But what a great guy. In fact, I think he still lives there, and he lives in the Cape Cod too.
Well, when I met him, I was in Staten Island. That was where I grew up. And one day there was a Roy Rogers. Remember the Roy Rogers? They were like a fast food. They served mostly fried chicken and hamburgers.
Yes.
And for some reason, there was a rumor that Nicky was going to be at the Roy Rogers. And I'm like, why would that even make sense? I don't know if he knew somebody or what the case was. And sure enough, we went over there, and he was signing autographs at the Roy Rogers, and nobody came to Staten Island. You didn't meet. It wasn't like here. If you were just in my neighborhood, you saw Phil Esposito, Ian Beckles, and Martin Gramatica all in the last 20 minutes. When I was a kid, you never just ran into a celebrity or a superstar. The Yankees were in the Bronx, and the Knicks weren't even that popular.
Yeah, but you get lost in New York.
You get lost in New York. Here you have it's a different kind of community.
Well, it's definitely changed as far as hockey's concerned.
Sure.
And, with football, it was different, but everybody wears the helmets now.
Yeah.
Face shields. It's hard to recognize them off the ice.
Yep.
Or off the field, even.
Yeah.
And football is different. It's like once a week, and the cameras are always on a player like Mike Evans or what have you, and they see the faces. In hockey, it's a little different.
Yeah.
You don't, honestly, Mike, when they're walking out sometimes, I don't know who they are.
You got to wait to see their number.
I understand that, yeah. Do you know Warren
Sapp? They look so young.
Oh, yeah, they're all kids, yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I've been watching. I have to look up, and I go, that kid's 19 years old.
Yeah.
He's 19. That's wild.
And big.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I was a big guy when I played.
Yeah.
6'1", and I weighed 220, 223. Now, I'm a midget.
Yeah.
I go beside them, and I'm like Vasilevsky the other day. I congratulated Vasi, and it was all his 500 and win and all that. And I look up at him, 500th game, and I looked up at him, and I said, man, are you growing or am I shrinking? I think I'm shrinking.
You might be shrinking. Yeah. That's when they came and said time to start wearing helmets, that was an option, right? They gave you the option.
1972 it started, and you could sign a waiver, which I did. That it was more for the insurance companies.
Okay.
I signed a waiver. I hate it. I wore it one game.
Really?
I wore it in Austria, in Vienna, at the World Championships in 1977, and they made me wear it, or else they wouldn't let me play. And so I wore it. And after the game,
shield or no shield?
No,
or
no
cage
shield.
or anything, just the helmet.
Gretzky's helmet, you know.
Oh,
piece, like a piece of plastic.
Right.
There. It was like a BS thing, you know. And I remember after the game, the head of the WIHF was a guy named Gunther Zabetsky. And he was sitting with the Crook Eagleson, Al Eagleson, our player guy. And after the game, because they made me wear it, and I skated over, I took the helmet off and I threw it at him. Now, he thought I was giving it to him.
Right.
So he comes in his dressing room after with Al and a couple of people and asked me to sign it. I said, sign it? I don't want you to sign it. I want to stick it, you know, where the sun doesn't shine. Never wore another one. Never wore a helmet after that ever again.
No, I mean, you seem like you have all your faculties together and you're still working. What
do you mean? Look, the respect factor was huge in my day.
Yeah.
You don't hit me above the shoulders with a stick. And if you did, it better been an accident.
Right.
Because if I didn't get you back, you as my teammate,
we're going to get
that guy back. And everybody knew it, so everybody didn't. I can't tell you how many times guys would say, didn't mean to do that, Phil. Or I'd say to the guy, look, that was an accident. Stick that up. I'm sorry, man. You know, there were times
that's your respect factor,
and you say it, but they didn't care, and they whacked you anyway. Then you have to defend yourself. That's all. But
do you think do you think the rules are the same way now, or do you think because of the way the game has changed, is not that respect? And you know, I remember when Gretzky played, and some of those guys, you knew if you went after Gretzky, 10 guys were going to get you.
Well, there were a couple of things in this game that I just do not like.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that if a guy gets a hit and it's a clean hit,
right.
All of a sudden this guy comes over here and starts trying to fight him.
Right.
I don't get that.
Yeah.
It's a clean hit.
That's hockey. Yeah.
It's a clean damn hit, man. If you can't take it, don't play.
Yeah.
If it was a dirty hit, different story. But if it was a clean hit, and guys know whether it's a clean hit or not.
Yeah.
It's like the other night with Geeky, knee on knee, with that guy.
Right.
Geeky didn't stick his knee out. He didn't do any of that.
No.
So all of a sudden, this kid, Cole Sillinger, who's a rookie, I think he's 19 or 20 years old, not that shift, 2 shifts later, jumps him from behind and starts wailing on him. That to me has to get out of the game.
Yeah.
And the pushing and shoving after the whistle, when the whistle blows, the goalie stops the puck, what the hell's the pushing and shoving for?
Yeah, because you can at that point. At that point, the whistle already blew. So
European.
Yeah.
That's where they used to play European. In 1972, it started in Russia.
Right.
When we played the Russians over there.
Yeah.
They would do the same thing. They'd push and shove
after the whistle.
And, of course, we would retaliate with throwing a punch at them.
Right.
We went into the basement. We went into the box.
USA.
We started to get thinking, what the hell are we doing? We're spending more time in the penalty box than not. So, got to just walk away, boys. Walk away.
That's harder to do sometimes than fighting.
Very hard.
Yeah.
The blood is boiling, baby. You know?
I'm going to put you on the spot. Who top 3 tough guys on the Lightning over the years?
Over the years?
Over the years. I know who my number 1 is.
My number 1 is Enrico Ciccone.
Enrico Ciccone, number 1, 100%.
I'll never forget. Okay, we had a guy, got a defenseman, real good guy, see his face and everything else. My brother really liked him. And I called Tony. I said, look, I'm going to we're going to trade. I'm going to get this guy Enrico Ciccone, and I'm going to get a second-round draft pick. And he says, "Oh, don't do it, Phil." I said, "No, you don't understand, Tony. We got to entertain here.
Yeah.
People down here want to be entertained. We're not going to win. This is our second year, you know. We're not going to win anything yet, so let's entertain." So when I did the deal, I really like Rico.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
I really do. And I just said to him, you know, play your game. Don't let anybody touch anybody on our team.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't.
You gave him the order like a mafia don. You gave him the order.
I just said, do what you have to do.
Do what you protect our people.
But you know what? He is now, I think, a senator.
He is the equivalent of what is like a senator in Canada. So he and I still stay in touch.
Oh, do you?
And I follow him on Instagram. And he went from, hey, that hockey player got elected, to now he's like takes it seriously. You know what I mean? Like he does a really good job.
Fighting. He banned fighting. I said to him on the phone, "Are you kidding me? That's the only way you made it, and you ban it."
It's interesting is that his son, when his son was younger, probably like around 15 or so, he says to me, "Chum, my son, he watches YouTube. He thinks all I did is fight." And I go, "That is all you did was fight. That was the best thing you did. I mean, you could play the game, but the best thing you did was fight." And we had him here twice. He was here in 2 different times here, and it was great. I still see Ciccone jerseys when I go out there.
I think he's going to come down for that Hall of Fame stuff.
Good.
For Bradley and
good.
And Peckham. So it'll be good.
That is great. When are they doing it? Do you know when they're doing it? It's coming up. I read it the other day.
I think in March. I can't remember right now.
This I'll tell you, we are no longer we're no longer a young organization. I mean, we are fully there. And the best thing I think that happened in Tampa is that people saw that people can embrace a hockey team and become a hockey town, whether you're hot, whether it's cold, whatever. Like I remember the jokes at first. People the talk shows used to make jokes about it.
Yeah.
But this town, I growing up in New York, there was hockey present since I was a kid.
Right.
But I was a poor kid. I never went to a Ranger game. I didn't have any money to go to a game. I never got to see any of the hockey game. When I came down here and hockey came here and I was there from the inception, I was in from day one. And everybody says the same thing. They used to tell me with NASCAR, when you go to a NASCAR race, that's when you say, I went to a NASCAR race. It was the worst thing I've ever done in my life. It was so goddamn loud and there were too many people and it wasn't my spot. And it was hot. I didn't like any of that. Hockey, you go to a hockey game and you watch it live for the first time, you'll never be the same again.
You know what, Mike? When we were first starting here, I'd go up north and do interviews.
Yep.
And people will say to me, "How do you play hockey in Florida?"
Yeah.
And these are people from Canada that were followed hockey, in New York. And I'd look at them and I'd say, "We play indoors, dum-dum."
Like all of you.
Come on.
Yeah.
Nobody plays outdoors in hockey.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
It just absolutely baffled me that they thought that hockey could not survive in the state of Florida.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And if you think about it, the last we went 3 times, won twice, went 3 times to the finals. The Panthers have gone 2 times and won once out of 6 years.
Yeah.
Don't tell me hockey is not good in Florida.
Hockey's great in Florida. Hockey's great in Seattle. Hockey's great wherever you put a hockey team. It thrives where it is because it's a great sport to watch. It's fast moving. It's fun.
It's the best live sport.
It's the best live sport. I mean, and one of the other things is that I see a lot of this similar to UFC. The respect, the players are very respectful and very respectful of the fans. And you don't get that in a lot of sports. There's there's just a lot of gentlemen in hockey, and I think that translates well to. And I don't even mean this to be funny. It translates to the women. The women enjoy watching hockey players. My wife loves hockey.
Yeah.
And I can't get her to watch football with me. I can't get her to watch baseball with me, but she loves hockey, loves going on hockey games. For some reason, I think that attitude and the way that they treat their fans, the organization as a whole, really, really translates well.
And the only other thing, too, is I wish these guys would learn how to write. their name.
Right. You
They
can't
don't
read.
put their numbers. Can anybody make out who they are?
No, you'd be
It
surprised.
really blows me away.
Yeah.
I don't. Bobby Hull taught me. He used to say, if you've got to sign an autograph, make it
Legible so they could read it. Yeah.
so they can read it.
Yeah.
And I've never waned from that. And I think about that sometimes. You get these people ask me, like, I get autographs for them from the Lightning.
Yeah.
Say, who's that? I say, I have no clue. Now even the numbers are messed up. You don't know what they are. And I just wish they would take the time. And then again, I could understand it. There's so much phoniness going on that maybe somebody could take their signature.
Sure, and copy it. Yeah.
There's
You
so
wanna
much
laugh, Phil?
different than it was when I was playing. You know?
Yeah.
It really is. So
If you go outside of down the hallway here, I have stairs that go upstairs, and the whole wall up to the second floor is all autographed guitars. Ask me who they are. I have no idea. I can kind of figure it out a little bit. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember I got the blue ones, Metallica. But I mean, there's half of them up there. I have to. Sometimes I take pictures of them and I put them on Google, and I go, anybody know who this is? I need help from the listeners to figure out who they are. So you're right. Make your name legible.
And Mike, you asked me a little bit ago about business-wise. I don't think hockey's ever been in a better position.
Yeah.
And for that, I give Gary Bettman a lot of credit.
Mm-hmm.
Hockey-wise, I think that when they took away a little bit of interference, a little bit of holding for speed, their speed. Look, nobody is going to tell me that Bobby Orr or Bobby Hull or Guy Lafleur or Yvonne Conway, I can go on and on, couldn't skate as fast as the dudes do now if there wasn't holding, clutching, and grabbing, or Mario Lemieux.
Right. So it changed the game.
It
They
changed
the rules.
game for speed, all speed. And you better make your mind up quickly.
Yeah.
Because you hesitate, you're done.
Yeah.
And I always thought if they wanted it to be this fast, maybe the rink should have been 250 feet high. It's never been made to be this fast.
Yeah. It's
In my
amazing.
estimation.
It's amazing though how it's been able.
Well, these guys make enough money they don't have to work. I worked in the summertime until I was 30.
What did you do?
I drove bulldozer, Euclids, track excavators, PRs, you name it.
Yeah.
I drove it.
That's so funny.
And I used to go home in the summertime and work there. But let's not forget, baseball players did it.
Oh yeah,
football players did
They
it.
had Leroy Selman used to work at a bank over here in Carrollwood.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
He didn't
that's
make enough
insane.
money.
See, Carmen, a lot of people have two jobs. Well, listen, I don't know how they got you here, but I'm so glad that you came in. It's an honor to have you here. And, the Tampa Bay Lightning we're proud to have the partnership that we have and have the games on the station. And,
Thanks, Mike.
one of the strongest signals, people get to listen to the games. We get feedback all the time. I'm proud of the association with the team. I'm a longtime fan. And we look forward to doing many things here. One of the other things, I was downtown the other day at Amalie Arena. I don't even recognize. I got lost going out of there. How far that's come. You got to look at that and remember back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Before you even had the arena. And now you look and they got that amazing 3D board that's outside.
Yes.
Then you have all these hotels over there. I mean, just that alone is enough that should be making you
I
proud.
have people say to me, so you're the guy that started all the traffic down here.
Thanks. That's one way to look at it.
No, listen, Jeff Binnig did bring it to a different level. There's no doubt about that. And these new guys, I've met them both. They're really good. And a quick story.
Mm-hmm.
There's a woman that invested in the team.
Right.
And she is from my hometown in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario.
Really?
She runs a huge construction company out of Jacksonville.
A woman, you say?
A woman. Her name is Sanzosti, her last name. Well, maybe not now, but she's married to somebody.
Right.
But her father was my dad. Her grandfather was my dad's best friend, and he was the guy that taught me how to drive the bulldozers, the Euclids,
That's
the
so
track
funny.
excavators. Plus, he was also very strong in the union. So he allowed me to leave to play hockey and continue my seniority
inside your real job.
Until 1971, 72. So,
hey, what were they paying you when you played hockey in the beginning?
The year I scored 76 goals, I would made about $20,000.
Oh, wow.
I made 30,000 in bonuses though. But then I got to the $100,000 level, and I didn't have to work in the summertime anymore. You know?
Wow. Well, $100,000.
Nowadays, these guys train.
Yeah.
We never trained.
No.
Never lifted a weight in my life. We were told not to. Never were allowed to drink water on the bench.
Wasn't it St. Louis Pete who would work out on the in the steam room with the on the bike? Who? Chelios riding the bike in the steam room. Who after a game?
Well, that's all I know is when I first broke in, I went in the steam room with a guy named Moose Vasco, and he had a case of beer in there.
That sounds much better.
And that's hockey in the 70s. Phil Esposito, thank you so much for coming in here today. I hope you have a great holiday.
Thank you, you too.
Not to be too, but think about this. Long after you're gone, what do you want him to name after you? A highway, a stadium? What would you like him to? You know it's going to happen.
I'm afraid what they're going to name it. Whatever it is, look.
The Esposito Center?
I've gone.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I was told by Mayor Greco when he was mayor that they were thinking of naming Channelside Esposito, but Marriott had already printed up the whole thing, Channelside on it.
Right.
And, but look, that's not important.
Yeah, but don't you wish though that you had the? I mean, if they're going to name something after you, you want it to happen while you're around, or you never know about it.
Yeah, I know that statue is something.
Yeah.
Even though I get some crazy pictures from my wife's girlfriend, I'll tell you that.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, well, thank you for coming in. I hope you have a great holiday, and we'll catch up with you next year.
You too, Mike. Thank you very much.
We will take a break. I would have worn sleeves if I knew you were coming in. It's the Mike Calta Show. It's 102.5 The Bone.